What is going on, guys? It's John here for you. Here with a pretty neat video today. We're going to be looking at the Kubota z726x commercial grade zero turn. So I'll get a little bit later into an actual review on this mower. I wanted to go over a few details with you guys real quick, stuff that I didn't film when I was doing this. So if you guys remember from a couple years ago, I filmed a video with the Exmark Laser Z at the research farm at my school that I go to. One of those mowers, we trade them in every 3 years, and the managers there at the farm I work at, one of the mowers timed out, and they traded that in and ended up getting this Kubota. So it was a neat opportunity for me to get it on another brand of equipment, you know, test it out, all that kind of stuff. So that's what this is stemming from. I got some good seat time, about 20-30 hours on this thing before I did this review. So that's that. What I want you guys to listen though on this little bit of mowing is listen to the engine speed and the deck, especially on these next couple passes, and listen to how the mower is bogging down, and I'll come back and I'll explain exactly what happened, because I have figured out why it was doing this. So I will let you guys know about that, but just take a good listen. Won't edit anymore, so when I'm mowing back next to the road, take a good listen to the mower and enjoy the little bit of mowing footage, guys. it, so I'm sure that you guys just heard what exactly went on. So when you saw the start of the mowing video, you saw that I did adjust the mower deck height. And I stopped a couple other times there closer to that section that gets bush hogged. That wasn't anything to do with the mower, that was simply my hearing protection wasn't very comfortable and I was just adjusting that. This was the very first mowing that I did for the day. So I was cutting this grass at 3 1/4 inch is what I started at. That's what I set the deck to when I first got to this little part of the farm. Now, this grass, it's kind of tall. It's not the tallest stuff in the world. It had been cut about 4 days ago. This is filmed in the beginning of October. We've been having, perfect cool season grass, growing temperatures. So this stuff was growing pretty quickly. So we were having to mow it about every 4 days in reality to keep it decent. Now you can see that pass right there on my left, which is the one that was really causing this mower to work very hard. The 726x. It's got I filmed it later in the video. I don't remember exactly right now, so don't quote me on this. I do know it's a Kawasaki engine. I am pretty sure it's the FX801V, which is 25 horse. That's what it says on the Kubota website. But you'll have to see later in the video when I do the walk around on this mower exactly what the engine is. And this mower, I do know, has a 60-inch deck. Regardless, that combination of that Kawasaki V-twin and that deck with really not super tall grass, however, it is soaking wet because it is about 8:30 in the morning, like I said. Regardless, normal mowing conditions that you can hear right now, the mower's not working that hard. It's just mowing pretty normally, and it's doing a decent job of it, especially with the grass as wet as it is. So what happened was, we're not very good about cleaning these mowers off after every use, and with as wet as the grass is, it's sticking to everything. And the Kubota, as you'll see later in the video, has a dial type deck height adjuster, very similar to what I have on my John Deere. I really like these type of adjusters over the pins that are on, say, an X-Mark or a Toro or a Skag, just in my opinion. The problem that was happening with this here, and I later figured this out, I didn't know this during this video, but afterwards I figured out, the way that this is designed is it's like a spiral staircase almost. If you look at the height adjuster, when you turn it, there's different heights on this piece of metal that the deck adjuster pin, I guess it's connected to your foot pedal, right? It rests on that piece, which then adjusts the deck for 3 inches or 2.5 or 4 inches or whatever you want to set it to. Because that's set up looking like a spiral staircase, having a little bit of depth and all that, what happened was the grass was collecting up in there and the locking mechanism wasn't working properly. So as you would go down your yard, if you weren't paying attention to that height adjuster, it would slip down. So when the mower was bogging down as bad as it was, it slipped all the way from 3 1/4 inches all the way down to 2 inches. So that 1.25 inches made a drastic difference, especially with the grass being so wet, and it left a massive windrow of clippings and all that stuff because it was just dumping out of there because it was cut so low. So that's what was going on. The difference, you might be like, well, John Deere has the same thing. Why don't you have that problem on that? The difference with that, and I looked at this after I filmed this video because I did go home and was able to run my personal John Deere a little bit. The way they have that set up is it's a flat design, and the pin actually rides on the side of that mechanism. So regardless how much grass gets built up in there, it doesn't affect it quite as much as what is on the Kubota. If I had a picture, I would show you guys. But if you do go look at this mower, take a look under that dial and see that piece on there. I'm sure if you keep the mower clean, which I know it's a problem with this year that we don't clean these mowers after every use, but if we did keep these mowers clean, I'm sure it wouldn't have been a problem. And had I recognized that this was what was going on when I was doing this, I would have just gotten off the mower and cleaned it off and it wouldn't have been a deal. However, not knowing this, if this was a customer's yard and I was mowing and I had, 3 1/4 inch turf that I had and it was level, and then I had one pass that was down to 2 inches, and then that customer wouldn't be very happy with me, and I wouldn't be very happy with the work that I was creating. So anyway, guys, I got a little more mowing footage here, and we'll go ahead and get into the review of what I really think of this mower. So stay tuned, and we'll get right into that. What is going on, guys? It is John here for you. Today we got a pretty neat video. Been doing some time running this machine, and I wanted to share it all with y'all. So today we're going to be talking about the Kubota z726x commercial grade zero turn. So you guys just saw some mowing footage. I was mowing that bit of grass on the other side of the road up there near that pole. I've been mowing in here, and as you guys can see, the cut quality is really good. Stripes excellent. And in the mower's defense, this grass here is soaking wet. It's fresh, morning, dewy grass. So the clumping over here is really not bad at all. There's hardly any clumps. There's a little bit of stuff up there because there's some stuff left over from the last people that cut this, or the last time it was cut. And the other side, I'll get into that because you guys probably saw me stop a few times in that film. Anyway, so I wanted to go over the mower a bit and give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it, and won't really call this a review because, like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of time on this mower, but I did want to get a decent amount on there so I was able to give you guys an honest opinion. So this mower here, get the grass off of it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got 172.1 hours on it. So this Kubota, just to give you guys some specs, got a 60-inch mower deck. This has a Kawasaki FX801V engine on it. And to give you guys a little bit of overview, you got your fuel tank back here. This is an electronic fuel gauge. Hydraulic oil for this side, hydraulic oil for that side. I like how you have access to this. You don't have to even flip the seat up. It's real nice. Let's see, this is a carbureted version, so choke, throttle, PTO on and off, and your key. And one thing I do really like and kind of dislike about this mower, and you'll see why in a second, but I really like the fact this has one of those dial type height adjustments. I think that those are superior to the pin style, so this is really neat right here. You can see this particular mower does have a chute blocker on it. This particular chute blocker is hand operated. He's got attached to the bar right here. So you squeeze this down and then push the lock, and it should come back up, but we're having some issues with this chute blocker right now, with it not wanting exactly to come back up. Partly it's because of these little metal tabs right here that get bent. Right now they're not. I'm not sure why it's not staying or wanting to open back up. But I don't know if this is a Kubota chute blocker. This is an aftermarket chute blocker. I'm really not sure. But whatever it is, there's a couple little bugs that need to be worked out with it. This does have, I believe, Parker pumps on it. Let me see. I can't see them, so I'm pretty sure they're Parkers. Either Parker or Hydro Gear. And yeah, guys, so it's a decent mower. I'll give it that. So a couple things I want to touch on: reliability, comfort, and cut quality, which are always the three things you look for at the mower. Comfort-wise, this thing is extremely comfortable. This has a high back, full suspension seat, as you guys can see. And once you get that suspension adjusted just right, this is a marvelous seat. It's the place you want to spend all day. So the comfort-wise, it's very good. The bars, the controls feel very precise. There's a little bit of effort needs to be put in, kind of like the X Mark. Not quite as smooth as the John Deere that I've run, but it's not quite as hard as the X Mark to push. These are really good bars. The only thing I don't really like about them is you guys can see that they're pretty easy to move back and forth. And when you're on a hill and you're kind of leaning on these things, they have a tendency to kind of flip back out if you're not careful with them. But very minor gripe, nothing crazy there. So reliability, I doubt you'll have any, serious issues with this mower. If you guys buy any commercial zero turn, regardless of the brand, and you get a decent engine on it, such as this Kawasaki, and you get some decent pumps on it, you're not going to have any issues. So reliability wise, I don't think you're going to have a huge problem. This mower in particular has given us a handful of just kind of nitpicky problems. One of them was, we had a flat tire one time, which that's no fault of the mower at all. We hit a thorn out near the wood line, no big deal. One issue that we did have was the damper for this side here. I guess it wasn't tightened all the way down from the factory because the nut fell off and the damper came out, and this bar was extremely touchy because there was no damper there. So we ended up having to finagle it back in there, and we got a new nut, screwed it back on, no big deal. Pretty easy fix. The problem right now that the mower is having, and it's kind of an intermittent problem, but if you guys noticed on the film you just watched of me mowing, the mower started to bog down pretty significantly, and I was going fairly slow. I'm mowing this turf here at 3.5. I started out mowing 3.25 because this stuff really isn't that tall, and I wanted to mow it down just a little bit. But I ended up cutting it to 3.5, and with how tall this grass is, I haven't cut any of this over here. But how tall this grass is, a FX801V, I believe it has close to 30 horsepower, or high 20s definitely. This engine should not bog down in grass like this, and it was bogging down significantly and throwing massive clumps out, which was pretty strange. And I look over at the indicator, the deck height adjustment, and it was down at like 2 inches. So what happened was, this thing here is pretty vague. My John Deere that I personally own has one very similar to this. The only difference is that you turn the dial out here, and then this part up here is how you unlock and lock the deck. Versus the Kubota, you've got the whole dial here, and then this is your lock and unlock for the mower deck. The thing about this is, let me get up here. I can try to show you guys. So you've got your pedal right here. The deck is very easy to lift up and down. They did a good job there. And here's your deck height adjustment, and it feels kind of vague. Alright guys, quick interruption here. Just wanted to remind you that this particular problem that I'm talking about was what was discussed during that mowing footage. So anything here, just kind of take it for a grain of salt, because I didn't know exactly what was going on. This is all simply due to grass buildup. It's not as big of a problem as I thought it was. So just keep that in the back of your head when you're watching this. Anyway, back to me in the past. And I think what the problem was is I was mowing at 3.25 inch, which is this dot right here. And what happened was, when I was driving over bumps and whatnot, the deck kind of bounces, up and down a little bit, kind of like this. And what happened was, every time it would bounce, this wasn't locked in fully, and it just started rolling down. And it started out at 3.25, and went down to 3, and then down to 2.5, and then by the time I finally caught it, I was mowing about 2 inches, which this grass never gets cut at, and it wasn't doing very good. So I don't know what the problem was there, what exactly was going on, but I know if this was a customer's yard, especially a well-manicured yard, and I have one stripe that's cut down to 2 inches, a customer wouldn't be too happy, I wouldn't be too happy, and the yard would look very uneven for a while. But it's just kind of what happened. So anyway guys, overall this is a decent mower. I doubt you'd have any severe problems with it. And yeah, so I wanted to give you guys an overview. Let me know what you think. Would you look at a mower like this? Let me know if you guys have any experience with these Kubotas. And I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Alrighty guys, so that was that quick little review that I had on this thing. I got just a tiny little bit of more mowing footage in that same area, this time not on the mower. So the one thing I didn't answer in that quick little walk around video is whether or not I would personally look at Kubota mower. And I would have to say, based on my experience with this one, that I would probably not, simply because of all the little nitpicky things that have gone wrong with this particular mower. Like I said, I don't think you'd have a lot of severe problems with it, but it just, those little tiny things cause downtime problems, and when you're in this industry, the last thing you need is downtime. I think there's other brands that are out there that allow you to not have as much downtime, such as Exmark Toro. My John Deere I've had plenty of really good experiences with. So all I say, guys, is make sure you shop around, make sure you demo these mowers, make sure you get some seat time on these things, and see what works best for you. So all these reviews are a great place to start, but as I say in all my videos, head out to your local dealership and take a look there, because that's where you're really going to do your good research. Anyway, guys, this little bit is what's left. If you're sticking around this long, I really do appreciate it. I got some really neat videos coming into the channel here pretty soon, and that's all I got. So like I said, guys, if you got a comment on this mower, please let me know if you think something's cool. Please don't leave any nasty comments. I would really appreciate it if you don't do that. But if you have something to add to the conversation, I welcome you to it. Alrighty, guys, that's me. I'm out of there, and we'll see y'all next time.